this is the only time that I've actually indulged the theory, because if we can show that video again, I don't know, can we show it without playing the weird sound? That belly looks very abnormal. That it looks very strange. If you look up close in the video, and I encourage people, look at this. It looks like there's like a bag or like some sort of something shoved up under a dress.
We're talking about Meghan Markle's infamous hospital dance or twerking video, the one where she supposedly filmed herself 9 months pregnant, gyrating around in a hospital gown, belly on display. Now, normally, this whole moonbump theory that Meghan faked her pregnancies and used surrogates gets dismissed as conspiracy chatter. But this time, even some mainstream names are starting to say, wait a second. And that's where things get juicy. I'll walk you through the key points, the reactions, and what this all means to Meghan, Harry, and their already crumbling PR strategy. Buckle up. It's going to take us a while.
Trying to mislead the world is never a good idea, and Meghan Markle's catastrophic twerking hospital video while apparently 9 months pregnant is not fooling any of us. But what's most interesting is that major media figures are also now starting to change their mind, including my friend Megyn Kelly, who up until this point had dismissed the moon bump theory. More on that in just one moment. But first, let me bring in my royal mastermind, Angela Levin, Prince Harry's biographer. And Angela, what's so interesting is that you believe Meghan's use of this video is a determined attempt to actually start splitting up the marriage. Talk me through this.
Well, I do think that because, first of all, she's doing things that he really doesn't like. And secondly, she's doing things that the royal family are absolutely aghast over, as was I, as was everybody I know. You know, how could she do that? Is she really pregnant? No baby that is about to be born can actually wobble like that. How you can bend down, how you can open your legs and go right down, which is actually incredibly crude. And she's just letting it all go. Why has she waited 4 years, Elizabeth's birthday, to actually show when she was born? You know, it's absolutely horrendous. But we must know that Meghan is very, very careful of everything. She organizes things in her head and written down. She never just does things without thinking about them. And I think that she does. She's thought about this carefully, and she's sort of pushing him out. Also, with somebody who's got mental health issues, which Harry has, that you don't want to upset him like that. You don't want to put him in a very difficult place with his family, even if he's not talking to them, and actually just understand that he's part of your life as well, and is part of the children. She just takes everything away. She couldn't care less now. That's it in a nutshell.
Yeah, I know. And sorry to be crude, Angela, but I will just say opening her legs is never something Meghan Markle has had a problem with. But let's move on. Let's move on from that.
Well, she should if she's pregnant. That's the point.
Yes.
She should.
Yes.
Yes.
No, indeed, you should. And what do you make of the fact, Angela, that a lot of people in the mainstream media who had, I guess, dismissed this theory or just not wanted to talk about it? Do you know what I mean? Because it's almost like we'll put it in the too hard basket. I don't know about you, Angela, but I've been having a lot of these people message me over the past couple of days saying, oh, God, I think you're onto something here, or that bump just doesn't look real. What you know, this has not had the desired effect, has it?
But by the end of this, you'll see why this video could be one of the Sussex's biggest PR missteps yet. First, let's talk about the footage itself. Meghan, allegedly 9 months pregnant, is seen in a hospital dancing and twerking with a belly that looks, well, odd. We're not talking about normal baby moving around. Odd. We're talking about lumpy, bumpy, shifting in strange ways odd. Critics compared it to someone shoving a pillowcase full of socks under a dress. Not exactly the glowing maternal moment you'd expect to be used as a keepsake or as proof of pregnancy.
Quite right. I mean, I felt that there was something about her a day after she and Harry got engaged because her behavior was part nice and part extraordinary, that she'd just arrived. And I've been attacked verbally attacked, I should say, by loads of people who say, oh, you're so nasty and all this. But actually, they are beginning to see that. And she's very good an actress at that about herself. But this is actually appalling. Everybody I've spoken to thinks it's absolutely shocking. How could she do that? Well, she's doing this for a purpose, isn't she? I mean, in the magazine People, who are incredibly nice about the royal family, and they've gone really hard, they're really hard to sort of help her get over this, except Sally Beda Smith, who's a brilliant American woman who writes royal biographies. She said, how can he expect anything? Because they don't trust him. Of course they don't trust him. And this is what not going to help him in any way whatsoever. It's absolutely, she's really taken what she wants to do and will move on.
Yes.
We'll see.
And I think,
they
Angela, the thing that you were pointing out to me earlier, which has actually been lost in a lot of this, it isn't just the release of this video, because, of course, on the same day, there was also that whole succession of pictures of Lily that were put into the public domain. And you actually believe that will upset Prince Harry even more.
Yeah, it's part of it, isn't it? I mean, I've said the two things he really wants. One is don't use social media, which he uses all the time now. Two is he is so worried that his children are in a risky position and he can lose them like he's lost Diana, his mother. So he really doesn't want that. And I don't think it's too much to ask any wife to not do the two most important things in his life, apart from living with her. And she's taken it, you can almost see all of little Lilliput's face.
Yes.
And she's got her own hair done in a very special, messy way. But it's really about Meghan, because it's mainly Meghan with a small child. And then now at this age that you can really probably guess who that little girl is being, walking down the road holding someone's hand. It is very cruel. But also, they so much wanted privacy. She was going crazy about the privacy. She wouldn't answer questions. She wouldn't do anything about it. And here she is revealing herself, revealing her legs, showing her stomach, and doing all this very sexy whatsy tootsie there. And she wants it now not to. They don't want to be private. She's going to say everything that she wants and be as revolting and rude.
But you really do believe, Angela, that Meghan is so fed up with Harry that this is now all part of her plan to anger Harry. That is your belief.
I do think it's part of her plan, but I think that she's just had enough of it. Quite nicely, I can't be bothered with this anymore. I mean, she's been through a few men. Her last husband, who gave her a career because he helped her get to see production pieces and all that sort of thing. She sent back the wedding and engagement ring in an envelope. Nothing else was said. She'd had enough of him. So that's how she went away. There he is. He was a perfectly nice man. He was very helpful for her career. And she doesn't like anything very long, does she? You see even how she does with her food and her attempt to do all sorts of different types of things. Now she wants to put things at crockery, then she wants to do I don't know, cushions.
Fashion now as well. So your point is she can't stick to anything, and that includes her men. So actually there's a ticking time bomb.
Meghan probably thought this hospital dance clip would silence critics. Instead, it did the opposite. It handed them ammunition, embarrassed Harry, and opened the floodgates for mainstream figures to question her story.
A man, sexy man, who's very, 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 very wealthy, so she doesn't have to worry about it at all, and who would introduce her to very rich and well-known people. That's it, the next step. Because everyone knows her. 35 million people have looked at her bouncing belly. And I mean, it is an enormous number around the world because it is breathtaking. That's what she wants. My goodness me, I've done it.
And you say, Angela, that after the release of this video, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle can never ask for privacy again, either in court or in the public domain.
Well, I don't think they can ask, but they jolly well might, and they might be, and the people who want to talk about them might agree with them because, oh well, they're young, they're this. People have, as you said earlier, been very kind about her, trying to find little bits of really niceness from both of them, actually. And so now I agree that people have got to realize what she's like. I mean, I can't imagine anyone to be so hard, so vulgar. How does she expect the royal family to want her to be part of the royal family? How do they want their children to be part of the royal family, which we're going to get back to soon? It's ruining everything, but she doesn't care a dot. You don't have to show what you're like in a hospital about to give birth. If your little daughter is 4, you take it all away from her. She could be smiling or she could be running or she could have a present even from the back view. But actually, you don't need to show your little daughter. And if when she's older, she looks at this, she might be very, very cross with her mother that shows her what she was like in her tummy. What a shocking thing to show off. Look, that little shoulder coming over. Sexy. Look at that.
I mean,
there we are.
Look. Just, Angela, on every level, even now, on every level, just watching that video is still so shocking. And of course, we're probably far less shocked than most of the population about Meghan's behavior and her antics because we're so used to it. But this was, I think, a turning point, Angela, for so many folk who maybe had heard a little bit about the rumors in terms of the moon bump and the surrogacy, but weren't necessarily too convinced on it. And one of those is someone who I have huge respect for, my friend Megyn Kelly, host of the Megyn Kelly Show. And she has revealed on air, Angela, that it was that video that got her questioning for the first time whether actually the moon bump theory is true. Watch.
Angela Levin may be harsh, but her analysis rings true. Meghan doesn't stick with anything for long. Careers, projects, men. And Harry, already fragile, is being pushed closer to the edge. The video, then, is more than bad PR.
The thing I'm going to say, and I know this is weird, but there's one of those conspiracy theories on the internet that she might not have actually carried her babies, one or both, that they may have used a surrogate. Trust me, because I'm neck deep in all the news around these two. And there are many people who long before today are convinced she used surrogates and that her pregnancies were fake, one or both of them. And this is the only time that I've actually indulged the theory. Because if we can show that video again, I don't know, can we show it without playing the weird sound? That belly looks very abnormal. That it looks very strange. If you look up close in the video, and I encourage people, look at this. It looks like there's like a bag or like some sort of something shoved up under a dress. It does not look like a pregnant belly. It looks all bumpy. It's very strange. It looks like what you'd get if you put like a pillowcase full of like socks or something under your dress. You got to look up close. There's very strange bumps coming off of that pregnant belly. I don't know why, Stu, but for the first time ever, I'm kind of like, is this something we should be indulging? Because it doesn't look normal to me. The belly doesn't look normal, doesn't look like where a pregnant woman's belly is. And I don't understand what all those bumps on the belly are. I don't get it.
That's interesting. Yeah, it does look different, I guess. I mean, I suppose it's possible that, I don't know. I wasn't there. But I will say I noticed the same thing you're noticing looking at it. I mean, it's the first thing that I think kind of pops into your mind. It's like, what's going on there?
Why is her stomach so bumpy? Maybe they had stuck some monitors on there, but normally they don't give you like remote monitors on your belly. I've had 3 kids. All the monitors they stick on you are connected to the thing that's right next to your hospital bed. And she wasn't wired up at all. I don't know what's going on under there.
Angela.
Yeah, she's absolutely right. But I haven't particularly liked her and heard all the things that she's done for a long time. But this was miles more painful to see, miles more angry I've been. And it just is, if you wanted to be royal, you wanted to have all that, which she's never said thank you, she's just moaned. And then you do this, which is completely unnecessary. It happened 4 years ago. Why does she have to do that? I can't believe that anyone could be so nasty and so uncaring about anybody around them, including her children. Do you think her children want to see her like that, for goodness sake? Do you think that Harry today wants to see her like that? I don't know, but, there's no fun in looking at that.
And do you think that what Megyn Kelly was saying there will resonate with a lot of people, Angela? Because remember, for people who don't specifically follow the royals, this might be the first time that they're actually learning of the moonbump cover-up.
It's a symbol of a marriage and a brand unraveling in real time. For Megyn, the risk is that this becomes a defining moment. Not the glamorous duchess, not the Hollywood actress, but the woman who tried to twerk her way out of a pregnancy scandal and ended up proving her critics right. That's the whole saga in plain English. A video Megyn thought would set the record straight may have set her whole narrative on fire instead.